In today's live stream video, I'm going to discuss with my guest his reselling business, including how he started his business during the pandemic. He'll share his tips and strategies to help make us more successful and profitable resellers. Every Wednesday, I have a live stream, and I usually interview another reseller, and I have them share their tips, tricks, and techniques to make us more knowledgeable and profitable resellers. So if you're interested in reselling or you are a reseller, then you're in the right place. Going to pop in the chat, guys, and say hello to a couple people, and we should get started very shortly. Mike, Flipping Goodies in the house. Mike, I was just talking about you with Randy a little earlier, so I hope you're doing well. Lisa C, I always appreciate you being here as well. I'm sure the chat will be filling in shortly. What I like to do is I tell people I like to get started kind of quickly because hopefully some of you are watching the replay, and I like to keep you guys waiting and they're watching the replay. So I will bring my guest on and have him introduce himself. We're thinking about guests to have, and I'm thinking who are some of the local resellers in my area, and Dan, Big Thrift Philly came up, so I'm happy to have Dan on. We'll bring Dan on and we'll have him introduce himself. Hello, sir.
Hey, thanks, Adam. Thanks for having me on, buddy.
Appreciate you being here. Why don't you tell the people a little bit about yourself?
So my name's Dan, and like Adam said, I'm based in his area. I'm in South Philadelphia, so not too far from him. I sell mostly on eBay, but I'm a smaller kind of reseller trying to build it up. And I started it during the pandemic, pretty much, which is kind of weird to say, but yeah, and I'll just.
Okay, you live in. They say you live in South Philly, so you're kind of in the stadium area, so to speak.
Yeah, about 5 minutes or so from the stadium.
And you have a family.
Yep, I got a 10-year-old and a fiance.
Great, and you also have a full-time job.
Yeah, I'm a photographer as well. So.
Okay, so we'll get into it a little bit later, guys, in the video, because like I said, I want the chat's filling, and I always say we'll get to the meat and potatoes, talking about reselling during the pandemic. But I guess like anything else, I mean, like say weddings and things, and people weren't having events because of the pandemic. So obviously you had to figure out a way to generate income. And I like to say, when given lemons, make lemonade.
Yeah, definitely.
So you were obviously you couldn't do a lot of live events, and I guess your photography business suffered. So you decide, what am I going to do?
Exactly. All the jobs were getting pushed back. Like we just probably now finally caught up, like on all the past jobs that were being postponed.
Right.
It was crazy. It was madness, but yeah. So I got into the reselling. I had time on my hands, and I just started watching YouTube pretty much, and I found the Cincinnati Picker was like the big channel I found.
Right.
So I started watching him, but the thing, so I started selling things around the house.
That's what we always recommend, and that's what all the OG resellers recommend. And I always, because for the newer sellers, I mean, hopefully I have some newer people watching my channel as well. They always say that's what you want to do. Instead of going out and spending money, find things around your house that maybe just sit in your closet you haven't touched.
Stuff in the basement. There was
basement.
A Dutch oven thing for the stove was like one of the first things that I posted. So I was just doing, because at the time when I was watching the videos, the stores weren't open. They weren't even open at the time.
Exactly. Because like thrift shops and all weren't open.
So I was kind of figuring it out with just selling stuff around the house. I actually started out over on Macquarie is where I started selling. Okay. And then I eventually made the transition to eBay, but I found the Cincinnati Pickers channel, and then the guy Thrift School. You probably heard of Thrift School.
Sure.
And Justin from RVA Flip. So those three channels I watched just nonstop. But like John's, I would watch, and I'm like getting fired up about reselling. Like
kind of binge watch it. Yeah.
I must have watched like 20 to 30 in a row of his just the one day. It was just I was going back and watching all his old videos, and finally I got to the point where I'm like, I think I could like do this. Like, I think I could actually give this a shot. So I when everything opened back up, I just kind of was like went in head first and hit the thrift stores up. Now I know John does a lot of the garage sales, but I at the time I just was like, let me try the thrift stores out, and that's where I kind of started at in the thrift stores.
Right.
But
And and I sometimes I probably sound like an old record, but like maybe like a broken record because I repeat myself. But it's funny you talk about different things, networking and whatnot. And I noticed John does a lot of he'll buy like bulk, he'll buy like make a deal with somebody and say, how much if I buy everything? Or
exactly.
That's another pro tip. Maybe look on the Facebook Marketplace to see if there's anyone that's selling bulk, or maybe selling the reselling business. They're getting out of reselling. But
Yep.
yeah, absolutely. So that's the thing. And like I said, John, as we're doing it for a while, and I tell people, back in the day, I used to moderate for quite a few channels. And you're talking about John Cincinnati Picker. There was I forget the name of the show, but there was I think it was like the reseller 6-pack or something. I don't know why they called it the 6-pack. I think there maybe 6 people on the show, but John was one of the people on it. Lonnie was on it. Shed Flips.
Okay.
Steph was on it.
That might have actually been before I even started.
That was
probably.
It was before you started. Yeah, back
Yep.
in the day, like I said, I used to moderate for these channels, and I tell people that moderating, if you can do it, you learn a lot. But it's kind of a thankless job because obviously it's not a paid position, and you're committing your time. And I always sort of, again, I'll go back to something I always talk about this channel. Time is money, so I would commit every week to moderating for these different channels. And then back in the day, like I said, I used to sell Steven Staff and John and Lonnie, and I forget there was like 2 or 3 other people on that show. But I go back probably 2 or 3 years prior to even you starting. So I was speaking with Todd the Flippin' Hustler, who was my guest last week, and he and I pretty much started at the same time. So we were talking about some of the channels that we learned. So it's just a function of Google and YouTube, whoever they're promoting at the time. But absolutely, John's an excellent reseller, guys. And if you haven't followed John the Cincinnati Picker, you may want to look into that. And then John, I know with the pandemic, talking about the pandemic, bringing it back together, whatever. They used to have a bunch of meetups. I think last year they did have a meetup. Maybe that's something you might want to consider. I don't know if you want to drive all the way out to Cincinnati
I thought about
area.
it. I thought about it last year, but for the last one or whatever. But at the time, like I just started the channel, the YouTube channel, and
right.
I mean, I might have had it for a little bit, but I just wasn't. I didn't really think I thought about that one,
it's a haul. I mean, and I'm a big fan of Pete Craigslist Hunter, and he's one of my bucket list guests. Eventually I'm gonna have Pete on the channel. Pete knows me again. That was one of the channels. I mean, I think Pete occasionally would be on that reseller 6-pack that I was talking about. So Pete knows me, and he doesn't go live a lot, but I'm one of his moderators. And I love watching Pete Craigslist Hunter. So that's another channel if you guys don't watch. And Pete does some really neat stuff. He gets all kind of stuff, and he's in the Chicago area. He gets all kind of neat stuff, and he does some really neat videos. And that's how you learn. You watch these, like you said, we're going to talk about some of the things that you've thrifted, and that's how you learn.
Exactly.
But yeah. So channels, there's plenty of guys out there, plenty of channels out there, guys. So if you're not watching some of these channels, consider it. Some of these guys are very experienced, and that's how you learn. Absolutely. Okay, let me look at my list here and see what we want to talk about. So, okay, so you said right now, I believe that you're just selling pretty much on eBay, and occasionally you do a little bit on Facebook Marketplace.
Correct.
And you're no longer selling Macquarie. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so I still have the account on Macquarie. I think I might have like maybe 7 listings. I don't keep up with it. I'm just trying to focus on eBay. And then for whatever reason, I thought it would be like a great idea. I actually have an account on Amazon to sell too.
Okay.
But that's a whole nother, like I need to like just slow it up a little bit. I have two listings on there on Amazon, but I gotta kind of stay in my lane and just stick to eBay. And
when I first started, I was like I was all gung ho. I was watching all these things. I paid for a course on Amazon, and like I paid for a course on YouTube, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna speed up the learning curve. It's like, holy cow, this is complicated.
Yeah.
And I tried to learn how to do like retail arbitrage, and I was going and that's before gas was so expensive. I was paying like $2 a gallon for gas, and I would hit like 5 or 6 different Walmarts. It's like, well, I'm like finding like next to nothing. It's like I'm out there for 8 hours a day, and I'm like, I mean, again, it's experience, and I think a lot of it's luck too. Like, you and I
Yeah,
were talking. I tell you guys, I always do a pre-chat interview with my guests, and I always have them come on a little bit earlier to check that there's no grums or whatever. So Dan and I were talking, and that's something to it. I mean, you get opportunity. Sometimes you find things, sometimes you don't. But if you're not out there looking, you're not going to find things.
yeah. And I was lucky. I even knew how to get the items listed over there on Amazon. I was having trouble even figuring that part out.
Yeah,
So
it's
I'm like,
confusing. It's absolutely confusing.
I'm gonna just focus on eBay and then maybe eventually, figure that out. But
Well, that was one of the things too, and we would discuss this. I mean, you originally wanted Macquarie because the shipping was a little bit easier, and
sure,
that
yeah,
was one of your challenges with most new sellers, shipping.
exactly. Yeah, that's why I didn't go to eBay first, because I had the account, but I'm sitting there, and I was intimidated by the shipping page. I'm looking,
Sure.
there's all these regional rate B's and A's and D's and
Regional
F's.
boxes, so confusing.
I'm
Yeah.
like, over there, Macquarie, they got it dumbed down for me. I need it like dumbed down. They're like, oh, what does it weigh? A half a pound, this, and I didn't even have a scale at the time, Adam. I'm
Yeah.
I'm
Oh, you didn't
guessing.
have a scale?
I'm
Okay. What
I'm
are you
sitting
using?
there
Like what are your weight scales, like from your bathroom?
this is what I was using. I was saying a prayer, hoping that, like, I'm kind of guessing the right weight at the time.
Right.
I wasn't selling a lot at the time, so. But once I started getting a few sales, I'm like, I think I better get a scale. That way I'm, good to go.
That's one of the big things you really got to do. And I mean, back in the day, and some resellers don't know this. I mean, obviously, most of the resellers that watch my channel are very experienced, and I'm trying to get newer resellers in, but that's very difficult to learn in the beginning, shipping. And at the beginning, a lot of people go to the post office and they pay retail. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't pay retail.
Yeah, I know, and I know a guy that still does it, and I keep trying to tell him, like, dude, like, you don't even need a printer. They'll give you a QR, and the post office could just scan it. You're like,
exactly. Well, that's an
you're
add-on
losing
to this.
so much money.
That's a nice. Yep, they have the QR codes. But that's the thing too, guys. I mean, if you're a newer seller, the first thing you do, invest in a scale, opposed to scale. They're like $20.
And they're cheap too.
Yeah, they're
that's
not crazy. Now, and I always talk about how a thermal printer is a game changer, but I didn't do it till like 3 years in. And I was kicking myself because I wasn't doing a real lot of volume. So it's like, but if you do any kind of volume, guys, first of all, you got to get that digital scale. They're like $20, like Dan and I were saying, and they'll pay retail. Learn how to do your own and learn shipping. You save a lot of money. eBay makes money on your shipping, but they also pass along some of the savings to you. So it's cheaper than paying retail. And then you have companies like Pirate Ship, and I always check, both to see if Pirate Ship's less expensive or, USPS is less expensive. Just as a side note, we're talking about shipping. I found it kind of odd, and I kind of got a little chuckle at myself. And I wanted to remind you guys too, that I'm sure most of you know this, but eBay has the quarterly store supply coupon. So you got to use it by tomorrow. Thursday is actually the 31st of the month. So if you haven't used the first quarter coupon, you got to use it by tomorrow. But anyway, the reason I'm saying that is eBay is shipping out, instead of USPS, is shipping out my boxes through FedEx. So that's the thing with the USPS, and I don't know if Randy's in the chat. Randy might be busy. I know Randy and I talked earlier today, but I'm sure he'll be in the chat. But we always talk about, and Randy does a lot of volume. He has his own business. In addition to his reselling business, does a lot of volume. And he's like 75% now shipping on other platforms other than USPS. But again, he's a large seller. But again, guys, maybe consider that. I mean, a lot of the experienced sellers will tell you if you have something heavier, ship on maybe ship on FedEx. But you got to learn. You got to learn UPS and FedEx as well. So, but that is one of the most difficult things to learn.
What do you, if you don't mind me asking, what do you usually get with your coupon? Is there something you always go?
It's funny, and I make a mental note.
I struggle every time.
Well, the eBay tape is garbage.
And that's what I just got this past time to try out. But
right,
yeah,
and
garbage, right?
It's funny when you're first learning. It's like, well, I can always use tape.
Exactly.
And then you learn, and you learn yourself from experience, and you learn from other resellers. Is don't buy the eBay tape; it's garbage.
So I have like,
but I buy boxes, or I buy poly mailers. I ordered some hat size boxes, like cap size boxes.
Okay. Okay.
I watch Johnny the Cajun Roots resellers pretty much every morning, and I might not be there for the whole hour and a half, 2 hours. But I try to pop in and say hello to people, and again, talking about networking with other resellers, networking to get people on my show, and also to make contacts. So if I have questions, maybe I can become friendly with some of the resellers, and maybe they're an expert in a certain category and I'm not. And I can reach out to them and say, hey, by the way, I got this. Could you help me, maybe price this or tell me what this is? And, and I know, again, we'll go back to it. Google Lens is your friend. So if you're not using
Yep.
Google Lens, make sure you use Google Lens. But yeah, so that's the thing. So I just ordered the the hat size boxes. I think they were 8x6x4s, if I'm correct.
Okay.
And what's nice about them was I got a $25 coupon because I have the basic store. So I think it worked out to like $26.50 or $27 after tax. So it was perfect. I got my $25 coupon and I spent like $1.50 more.
Okay. Okay. Nice.
So yeah, we have Mike January House popped in the chat. Ed the reseller rider loves eBay tape. I'm sorry, Ed. Well, it's free.
I know, right?
Again, guys, it's funny, I share some, experience with my life in the channel and whatnot, but I kept getting glare on my big forehead because, I'm old and I'm, got male pattern baldness. So anyway, I used to have my chandelier on. I used to get this big glare on my face. But anyway, so you probably won't see this too well, but back in the day, this was my favorite tape gun. Was the Scotch brand, and now it's a piece of garbage. But anyway. They redesigned it something, and it's constantly sticking. But I use the heavy duty Scotch shipping tape is what I use, as opposed to using the eBay tape. But it is what it is. But apparently Ed loves the eBay shipping tape, so that's good.
I think would I just get 36 rolls? I think so.
Yeah. So like I said, so I try to order boxes or poly bags, or I think I ordered like record boxes, LP boxes, my last time. So that's the other thing. I figure, well, hopefully now we're coming in the spring and there'll be some yard sales and garage sales. So maybe I'll be able to pick up some, LPs and things like that when I'm out there shopping at the garage sales and yard sales. So anyway, I'm talking, I'm jibber jabbering. So
it's all right.
Sometimes you click with the guest guys, you just kind of talk about reselling, you go off on tangents. So that's why I have my run of show to keep me on track here. Okay, so we talked about the platforms you sell on, and you're selling basically one-offs. You said, right?
Yeah. I'll just, anything that I can make a profit on, I'll sell pretty much.
Okay, so here's Ed. He's giving us an update. He used Scotch tape for his Poshmark, Macquarie, and Facebook orders. eBay tape he uses for eBay. So that might make sense. It's kind of logoed. So you got the eBay tape, you got the eBay boxes with the logos on them. So you kind of keep that brand together.
Yeah, I just had a Facebook Marketplace order. I sold a pair of Fenton vases.
Oh, nice.
And now that I'm thinking about it, I loaded that up with eBay tape.
Okay. So that was something that you shipped to the Facebook Marketplace. It's not a local pickup.
Yeah. Yep. I shipped it.
Oh, I meant to ask you that, and I'm glad you said it because I was going to make a note of that and I forgot to write that down. You said it looked like it was Fenton, but it wasn't marked Fenton. How did you know it was Fenton?
I just posted it as Fenton, and the lady, she's like a Fenton collector.
Okay.
She's like, she hopes to buy more Fenton off of me.
Okay.
So, but I looked around, and based on like everybody else's photos, it looked like the same exact vase, same color. There's like it was one of the melon ones, and like around the middle part, there was like this different color, like a darker pink. So I based it off the photos, and then
again, I'm
no glass expert by any means,
and I'm just hesitant to ship fragile goods, and I shouldn't be. Although I did pick up some Thomas Kincaid stuff, and I was doing one of my shows once. I was going to show it, and I grabbed it and I smashed it against my china closet back here, and I broke the darn thing. So that's why I'm so afraid to ship these fragile stuff. I didn't smash it. I just basically touched it, and the thing broke.
That's why I put it on Marketplace. I didn't even post it on eBay. I posted it on Marketplace as a local pickup.
And then somebody bought it.
This lady, she messaged me from New York, and she said, "Hey, would you ship it? I'll pay the shipping, whatever it is." So I'm like, let me just take the sale. Like, what's the worst that happens? It breaks, and then all right, then I had to refund her. So I just put on my big boy pants and shipped it out. And she sent me the picture. It got
Everything
to her in
came
a
out
couple
fine.
days.
Great.
She loved it. She was like, let me know if you get any more Fenton. She's like, I love Fenton. I'm like, okay. So
Ed, you are reading our minds. Dude, you must be psychic. We're going to talk about a Facebook Marketplace scam later in the show.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't that hilarious? We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
Thanks for the heads up, Ed. I appreciate it. We're actually going to talk about a scam that Dan wasn't. He was smart enough to trust his. Again, guys. I'm going back to those stupid saying. They're not stupid. The reason they're saying is trust your gut sometimes. And Dan said, I got a bad feeling about this. So we're going to talk about that later in the show. But thanks for sharing it. So, yeah, we're going to talk about a Facebook Marketplace scam later in the show. So appreciate you posting that. That's funny. He said that, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So as far as your sourcing, why don't you tell the chat and myself where you source?
Mostly, so right now I'm mostly sourcing at the thrift stores.
Okay.
South Philly Goodwill, knock on wood, it's been good to me. I like it there. So I go there. Like I said, I take my mother-in-law shopping
Right.
At the ShopRite right there. So whenever I take her, I'm like, I gotta pop in there just to see what's in there.
That's like if you're at Walmart, you gotta check out the clearance, right?
You gotta check the clearance out. Exactly.
Yeah, it's like like you have like the FOMO, fear of missing out, right? I gotta check clearance when I'm at Walmart. Although I didn't do it the last time I was there.
So I thrift at Goodwill's a lot, and then on Mondays, my buddy John, he sells on eBay as well, and he's off of his regular job on Mondays.
Okay.
So sometimes we'll get together and we'll do like a whole little tour, and we'll go to Jersey. Sometimes we'll do the bins. Okay, I don't go there often.
So you guys can split expenses, or maybe you drive 1 week, he drives the next week. So
yeah, just kind of have fun going out sourcing.
Maybe grab something to eat while you're out.
Yeah. So we do the bins, but I don't go there often. But I'm trying to start going there a little bit more because I found some nice things in there for some good money. So.
And again, I think again, I'm not going to say the quote, but there's still something about opportunity is basically being there. You have an opportunity, but again, guys, I tell you, I have some health issues. I cannot stand it. Go to a bins for any length of time. And when I was feeling a little bit better, I tried it a couple of times, and they had I call them the shoe mafia, the people that are like grabbing all the shoes and. The go to what bins that you go to was the same one I would go to.
Yeah,
and it was like locust like going diving.
I barehanded too in there. I don't even wear gloves. I'm sitting there thinking,
And then the pandemic is like, there's no way.
I'm in there barehanded.
And then there's broken stuff in the bottom of the bins if you're not careful. Yeah, absolutely.
So mostly the Goodwills, but any thrift store. But this year I want to. I'm making it a point to try to get to some more garage sales. Yard sales, like town-wide sales, because I see a lot of people do really good. I'm only like I'm not like a full-time seller by any means.
But you do a lot of your work on weekends as well. But I guess early morning on Saturday, so it's not like it doesn't interfere with your other job.
Yeah, so sometimes I do like early parties and stuff.
Okay.
But like I'm working every Saturday, so that's why I don't get to the garage sales and stuff. So now anytime I do see sales where I could get to it, like I'm just gonna get up earlier and just go that way and just kind of have the long day, because like people, I see it on YouTube all the time. They're like, they're buying these crazy things for $1 or $5, and like me, I'm just like kind of paying up the Goodwill. So I want to start doing garage sales more often.
But just remember, they're not showing you a lot of the things that they're overpaying for. They're not buying. So again, it's
or how many sales they're hitting each time and stuff.
And the thing is, they'll say the early bird gets the worm. God, I'm old. I keep saying these stupid sayings, but they're not stupid. The reason they're saying it. But again, they'll say like no early birds. Guys, if you're not an early bird, you're screwed. I mean, you got to get there early. I'm not saying show up an hour before when they're not even set up. But if you show up, like if it's 8 o'clock and you show up at 5 of 8 or 5 after 8, again, you want to hit several of them if you can. Like I said, the best for the community, so you can hit 3, 4, 5 in a row within like the first 35, 40 minutes, as opposed to going to one and then driving 15, 20 minutes, going all 15, 20. Before you know it, it's like 10 o'clock. So you're already given up 2 hours at a time. But again, guys, you got to get there early. The early burn gets the word.
So I want to do them garage sales, Adam, and then I want to buy one storage locker this year, just one, just to do it. When I was younger,
just to get a video, right?
Even before I started reselling, you remember when Storage Wars was popular? I think I was like 18 probably, and me and my cousin, we went to one, but we were like, we weren't ready to handle some of them units. Were like wild, so we kind of got outbid a lot. But I want to buy a storage unit, and I've never been to an estate sale either, so I want to try to.
Okay.
Never been to one, so they're my goals for this year.
Well, you and I, again, we were talking earlier, the pre-show, prep, making sure everything's working properly. And we were talking about, the prices at thrift stores are ridiculous, or redonkulous, as I like to say.
Yeah.
But anyway,
definitely.
So yeah, definitely add that to your portfolio. Add the estate sales, and hopefully, like I said, I mean, it's been kind of hit or miss here. Well, obviously with the pandemic, the pandemic theme, but with the pandemic, a lot less people were having, yard sales and garage sales, but, and not to get us. This is not political, guys. So please don't chastise me. But some people think this thing is over. It's not over yet. But anyway, more people are having like outdoor activities and things. So hopefully there'll be more yard sales. And in our area, we have a very short season for yard sales. In my opinion, it's basically like now till like mid-October.
Yeah, I gotta pay the $5 and come out your way to them sales over the bridge. You know what I mean?
Right. There you go. Tommy wants to make you a deal. So his locker.
Sounds good.
Save you the hunt.
Appreciate it, buddy.
Tommy's kind of local to us. He's I guess an hour or so from us.
He's by them good beaches. I gotta check it out. This year.
I was actually the first video I ever did on my channel was down at the Delaware beaches. Again, I was moderating for a channel. And this creator had a family who always went to the Delaware beaches. So they always went to Rehoboth Beach in Delaware. So I'm driving down there and I'm stuck in traffic and I'm all frustrated. And I got to pay all this money for parking and this, that, and the other. So I ended up, and I had a gimbal that holds your phone. You with gimbal, obviously you YouTube. But I set it up on a table. And I was like, there was like a pizza joint, like right in the downtown Rehoboth Beach. So I set that up and I asked them if it was okay. So I kind of interviewed, the host and a buddy of ours that was in the reselling channel group. So we did a little video there. So that was the first video I ever did. So anyway,
nice.
If you want to check it out, it was at Rehoboth Beach. Not that I showed any beach, but
yeah, I never been to any of the Delaware beaches. So I think we're going to try to make a little trip this summer out that way. They're close enough. You know what I mean?
Ed, I love you, my friend, but I could never afford California. I keep telling people, and again, it's a function of my health and whatnot, but I cannot afford New Jersey anymore, the property taxes. And I just, every once in a while, they send you like the local newspaper, community newspaper, trying to get you subscribed. Property taxes going up again. It's like, yeah, no kidding. Yeah. New Jersey property taxes go up. Seriously? Okay.
I just found out. I was in a live stream last night. I didn't even know people in California got heaters. I just assumed the weather was just perfect out there all the time.
My friend Randy, I don't know who Randy is, but anyway, we were talking about earlier today, and he had $400 electric bill, just electric, and he has oil heat. Holy, I mean, that's crazy. Everything's going up, guys. So. Again, consider that too. And I always tell people, when you're out, and again, this is just kind of like a common sense thing. Try to rat yourself. So if you're out grocery, like you said, you're out grocery shopping with your mother-in-law, so you hit the thrift store. Just keep that in mind. Try to make a little route. Maybe you got to try to save money sometime. I mean, I paid $4 a gallon, and I was ecstatic. I only had to pay $3.97.9 in New Jersey. That was like the cheapest I could find anywhere in New Jersey. So ecstatic about paying $4 a gallon for gasoline, but it is what it is. Okay.
Right.
Okay, so let's see what else we were going to talk about. We talked about your sourcing. Why don't you tell us again? Let's get a little, I say, the meat and potatoes. So tell us how you got started during the pandemic. Again, we talked about it earlier that you needed to generate some more income because you're a photographer, and things were obviously slow during the pandemic. You got involved watching reselling videos and selling things around your house. Just tell us a little bit more about what you learned and maybe some of the things that you learned when you first got involved in reselling. And like you said, you learned a lot by watching reselling videos, but maybe give us some of the things maybe like a newer reseller might help them that you learned when you first started out.
Okay, so technically, like I collect Funko Pops, right?
Yes.
And so this is how technically I got started. I say I'm like a pandemic reseller because that's when I really got into it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a Funko Pop collection. Me and my son collect the Funko Pops, and certain ones obviously are worth more money. So we would try to get, even if we didn't like the Funko, we would try to get the pop, sell it, and then buy the ones that we did like with the money. So, and the one day, my buddy hit me up and he was like, "Yo, did you ever see this?" It had like a special sticker on it. He's like, "You ever see this sticker?" I said, "Nah, that looks like somebody like customized it." And he's like, "Nah." He's like, "They have it in there was a store actually in Atlantic City. They were like Sour Patch Kid Funko Pops.
Oh, okay.
But they were like a special one, but they weren't supposed to be released yet. But for whatever reason, that store put them out. So he bought them, and then it just so happened my mom and dad were in Atlantic City at the casino. So I was like, "Yo, stop over to the store." They went and they bought me like 10 each one. So I was posting them on Macari. I was selling them there was 2 separate ones. So I made like really good money off of that. And then I was doing that, but like still I wasn't really considering myself a reseller. It was just more so like, oh, now I got this money to buy the ones that I want. And then it kind of died off a little bit. And then the pandemic happened. And like you said, I was home. I wasn't working because there was the photography jobs all were getting pushed back and push back. So I wasn't working, and I was on YouTube, and that's when I discovered the community, bunch of different resellers, Cincinnati Picker, like I said earlier, some of them guys. And then John just had me fired up, and
so you just binge watch a lot of John's.
I was watching them all day long. All day long. I had them on the phone, watching them. Finally, one day I was like, I think I might be able to like.
I could do this.
Yeah.
It's like rocket science, right?
so looking around the house, I found some stuff in the basement, this and that. And then once the stores opened, I got out there and got into the Goodwills, the South Philly Goodwill, and I just like fell in love with it. Like the first day I had like a pretty decent, like I was like fired up, and like I didn't have a YouTube channel really. So I didn't have nobody to like even like tell. Like I'm calling my fiance up. I'm like, "Oh my God, look what I found, this and that." She's like, "Oh, cool." I'm calling my mom. I'm like, so then I was like, let me get involved a little bit more with YouTube. Like, so my channel, Adam, I'm not like, I'm not no guru. I'm really no expert. Mine's is more just kind of documenting my journey of what I'm doing, the things I'm learning. And like you said, like I'll share my mistakes. Like, if I notice I missed something, I'm going to point it out. Like,
but you said you have a GoPro now, and you like I said, I was talking to Dan earlier, the pre-chat. It's like, I don't like us filming in our GoPros. He goes, "Well, I wear my GoPro. I just strap it to my sweatshirt or whatever, my hoodie, and I just go." I was like, okay, but again, people like that too. They'll say, "Oh, you missed this, you missed that," and some people actually do like live thrifting. Oh, go back and get that. Go back and look at this. Grab
that. Yeah,
but that's how you learn.
Yeah, I always try to point out my mistakes, especially if I catch them, just so other people could kind of see.
Can you see Ed's comment there?
Question for Dan: did watching all the big YouTubers give you a sense at first that it was going to be really easy to resell? Uh I would say yes. They, because obviously they're showing you everything. There's a lot of them are just showing you the good.
Exactly. They don't show you the bad and the ugly.
A lot are showing you the good, but I would say yeah, but I kind of knew it was still going to be work, I guess. But I thought it was going to be a little easier. It's definitely a grind.
Yeah,
but
there's a learning curve. Yeah.
The thing is, with me, Ed, so I'm a photographer as well, and people don't realize it, but that's a whole nother grind too. Like you're just, trying to get job after job after job. So I'm kind of familiar with the grind. It's just,
it's a different kind of grind.
It's a different kind of grind. So if that makes sense, but they definitely do make it look easy. But so you were saying one thing that I didn't quite understand in the beginning was sell-through rate. Yes. For the life of me, I when I first started, I still have the thing in my store. It was like this new sealed like book, but it was like a deluxe book set type thing. I don't even really know what it is. But at the time, it was like there was a $75 comp, this and that.
Yeah, right.
Now there isn't even any comp. I probably had the thing since I first started. It was like one of my earlier pickups.
Yeah, that's like when you're doing your research. It's like, wow, this book has a retail price of $45. I can buy it for $3.99. I'm gonna make a fortune. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, for the longest time, I'm sitting there like, why won't this thing sell? I know I seen a sold comp. I didn't understand the sell through rate. Exactly. So learning that was definitely a big help for me.
And if I get into the eBay algorithm, I'm going to get yelled at by some of the guys in the chat. Mm-hmm. But again, that's part of the gig too. I mean, and again, I forget who it was. It was in my chat. It'll probably come to me. Oh, I know. It was Craig Landsharp Picker. He said you got to have good items at competitive prices, and you got to list on a regular basis. So in other words, if you have saleable items at a competitive price and you're listed on a regular basis, hopefully you have traffic in your store. But again, you can't sell if you don't list it. I mean, that's the bottom line.
I struggle. I struggle with the third part, the listing part, if I'm being honest with you. And I say that all the time. And I've been getting better at it, but it wasn't until a friend of mine was like, I'm talking about all the stuff I'm finding, and he's like, but are you a reseller? This was like about last year or whatever. He was like, are you a reseller or are you a hoarder? Like, you're buying all this stuff.
You saw my place, you think I was a hoarder.
You know what I mean? Like, he's like, you got all this stuff in storage. Are you going to list it or what? So after he said that to me, then I kind of got on the ball a little bit. But I go in spurts. Like, it's like I'll have like good weeks where I'm listing. Like right now is a good week for me. I've been trying to get at least like 5 to 10 up a day, which is a good week, which is good for me. Like there's sometimes I'll go 3, 4, 5 days without even posting anything. So I know you don't want to talk about the algorithm or whatever, but I notice.
I talk about it. Some people in the chat say there's, they get angry with me when I'm talking about it. But
I posted a couple. What did I do? I posted 10 the other day. The next day I had like 4 sales. I don't know, but that's listing is definitely something I need to improve on.
Well, and sometimes, guys, I apologize. I sound like a repeat record, but there's a reason because there's some truisms, some things I say. Anyway, I guess it's the old saying, like, even a blind squirrel finds a nut occasionally, right?
Yeah.
But again, you got to list if you don't sell. And one thing I continuously say, and I'll shout out my friend Beth Reseller Rowboat, and this is a great tip: when you're on that roll and you're listing, build up your draft file. Build up listings that you have, so when you don't feel well, or maybe your full-time job gets in the way, or you got family commitments, or you're going away for the weekend, you have them in your draft folder, and then you can list them, a few tomorrow, a few the next day, and kind of keep that momentum going.
Yep.
Do you see Ed's comment here? Do you think if you saw videos with resellers showing good and bad pickup sales, it would still have encouraged you to resell?
Yeah, for me, Ed, I would say yes. Because I'm the type of person I got to try it out for myself. Um, it's great hearing stuff, seeing and hearing things from everybody else, but for me personally, I need to kind of try it out at least. And I'll be honest with you, I think I was, like I said, I was hooked that first trip. I found, um, so I was brand new. I was just scanning all the barcodes and stuff, and they brought out a fresh cart, and it looked like a Barbie doll, Adam, right? But it wasn't a Barbie. It was Medline, I think it was, which is like a
Okay, I'm not familiar
hospital
with that.
brand. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So, or MedLife or Medline, I
So they
think
were
is what it.
dolls, but it's like a hospital, like what, like
Yeah, it was
clothing
just it was
company?
it was literally like a Barbie, like how a Barbie would be in the box, a little
Okay,
rectangle
okay,
box, but it
gotcha.
was green. It was like the hospital, that green
Okay,
color or
right,
whatever.
right, right.
And I scanned the barcode and nothing came up. And I'm like, something was just telling me, like, dude, you gotta
Trusting that gut feeling
you
again. Yep.
gotta
Got to
okay, the
research this
bar
a little
the
more.
barcode didn't come up. Let me try to start typing stuff in. So then it was like a Kim doll or whatever, but it was, so she was a nurse and it said Kim on the box. So I typed in like Medline nurse Kim, blah blah blah. I popped up and I was shocked. They were selling for like over $100. And I only paid like anywhere, I forget at this point. It might have been like $2.99 to like $5.99 for
Okay,
the doll.
okay.
So right there, that I'm like, oh, I love reselling. Like, if I could do that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you
Just
could do that on a
get a
regular
couple.
basis, right?
I posted it. I got it listed, and I took like a best offer, like $133 plus
Awesome.
shipping for it.
So you had $3
So
plus the goods. Wow.
right off the bat, I'm
Oh,
like,
this is gonna be easy.
oh, I love this. Yeah, I'm like, let's
All right.
go. But it's been fun.
Yeah, it says that. Yeah, that's the mistake a lot of newer sellers do. They rely on the barcodes alone.
Yeah. Yep.
But
So
like
that's
I
a
said,
good
one
that's
of
a
my
good tip
favorite
as well. Not
one
to.
of my favorite new tools is doing the Google search. Because I mean you try the eBay app, but I mean if you take a picture of something and it's like I have no idea what this is. So maybe if you took like a picture of that Fenton glass, it would tell you that pull it up would be like
Well, it kept pulling.
Google
It
Lens would
kept
show
pulling
those
up. Yeah, it
Fenton
did.
listings.
I tried it. It kept pulling up Fenton listings.
Okay,
So that's why I just
kind
went
of
with
kind of
it.
thought it was Fenton. Yeah,
And another thing with the listings, I definitely think and put way too much thought into the listing, if that makes sense. I
right.
really want to make sure everything, how do you say it? Like, that I'm describing it right and like everything's right. Not necessarily like the item specifics and stuff like that. Just like, I want to make sure I'm describing it right. That way I could avoid I don't want any problems. Nobody does. You know what I mean? I don't
True,
want any
true.
returns, this and that. So I think sometimes I overthink the listing a little bit too,
Yeah, that's true.
instead of just kind of putting it up
But
there and
but
then.
pro tip, guys, especially when you're in a thrift store, and again, guys, I know everyone in this chat right now, that at least people that are commenting are all experienced resellers. But guys, be careful when you're buying stuff at a thrift store or wherever. The lighting's bad. They got this fluorescent lighting. Be careful. I was telling Dan earlier, I was at a thrift store. The prices were ridiculous. And one of the things I'm looking at was, and again, I try not to sell jeans, but I was scrambling. I couldn't find anything in any of the places I was looking. And I thought of you, and I went and was checking out the athletic shoes, and I'm checking out, thinking of Mike flipping goodies, checking out the electronics. I'm checking out, baked goods and this, that, and the other, and cookware, those type of things. It's like, I'll check out the men's jeans. I'm not going to look at the women's jeans. I'm looking at the prices, like, holy cow! I thought Goodwill was bad. I pull up a pair of jeans and their page, and I know they sell kind of so well in the women's. I've done well with them in the past, and I pull them up. It's like $16.99. $16.99. And then I look at them, and I'm looking. It's like, yeah, maybe I can check. Try the eBay app. The crotch is all torn out. It's like, seriously, $16.99 and it's crotchless. It's like, there you go. That's for you, Tommy, because it's not a late night show, but I said it. But yeah, it's like the crotch is all, because that's something you got to check for. You got to check for wear in that area. It
And
happens.
that's something I learned.
Learn the hard way.
Yeah, and it was funny because I picked up, it was 7 for All Mankind. I picked up a
Yes,
pair.
I think we talked
I
about it.
paid, I paid for this pair. I paid, it was like maybe like $7.99 or whatever. And I was excited. The comps were looking all right, decent. And, like the next day, my fiance looks and she's like, dude, why did you buy a pair of jeans with all this wear like on the
Yeah,
crotch? Who the
yeah,
hell's going to
exactly.
buy that?
That's you
You
learn it. You
seldom
just
miss
learn
the
it from
stress.
experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But I
like the
never,
shoe test, like bending. Ed Smith
yeah.
guy. You got to do that bend test. Sometimes it's separate if you're not. And certain brands, I mean, Ed would know better than I, but certain brands are prone to having that separation. So you got to do that bend test because you can take it and it falls apart.
And Adam too. In the thrift store, I don't know. I'm sure I don't know if I'm the only one, but I could have swore I looked these jeans over head to toe, like. And then when my jeans don't get, I don't really get crotch wear or whatever like that. So I'm not expecting to look. I'm not expecting.
Well, you're a healthy athletic guy. Yeah, you don't have
I
that.
don't know
You don't have
about.
that
I don't know
going
about
on there.
athletic. I don't know
That
about
area.
athletic. but
Lisa
I was
says,
like,
seldom it's the stress. But again, Lisa, and I
stress.
learned that in the beginning because I made that mistake that new resellers make. And I would always put the stuff in the cart because you never know, because especially like on like $1 a day or a half price day, you got to grab the stuff and put it in your cart. And then I would literally go like to the front of the store and I would look in the regular like daylight. Because like the fluorescent lights don't do any favors. And I would examine everything with a fine tooth comb. It's like, and I would find, because I learned from my mistakes. I bought stuff. It's like, I know it's like, they got a hole here. They got a crotch wear. I can't sell the stuff. So literally we go in the window and say, oh, let me look at this in the daylight. And a lot of times I would pick up errors and I would put them back.
That's a good idea. I never thought about.
Lisa said they were ventilated. I like that, Lisa. Anyway, so guys, again, that's for the newer resellers. But again, that's something you learn. You learn from your mistakes. It's the old saying. Necessity is mother of invention, and the definition of insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly and expecting different results. So if you're not using common sense, you're not learning from your mistakes. That's how you become better. Learn from your mistakes. So you're gonna have hits and misses. Like you and I were talking earlier, you had shown in your video some things that you passed over, and you said you were up in the mountains once, and you were a little distracted with your uncle, and you were shopping, and you went back and said, "Wow, I should have picked that up. I wasn't really paying attention."
Well, you know what I did? I started what you were saying with the Google Lens, and I don't know why I started doing this, but sometimes how like Google Lens they'll actually show like a price like in the picture. Like, you ever notice that in your Google Lens where you scan something and
Absolutely.
It's really not that. For whatever reason, I just started, like, I seen it and I was just kind of going by that. It's always better to pull it over to eBay and check based on the title that you're getting from the pictures than just kind of going by the price that pops up on that Google search. Because that's what happened. Like, it popped up and I'm looking and it was like, I seen like $12, but it was like, it wasn't even the same one, but I was just going off of the picture just because I was kind of, like I said, distracted and I wasn't really. So it's better always to find out what it is and then put the title and, take the title and put it over and check your comp on eBay is a good.
Well, now we have both halves of the Tommy and Tracy show. We got Tommy and Tracy in the chat. So Tracy saying hello to everyone. Hello, Tracy. Thanks for joining us.
What's up, Tracy?
You guys, here's Mr. Red Rain. We were talking about you and Tommy and earlier in a little pre-chat talking about some of the channels that Dan watched, and he says he's a big fan of your show. He watches your show and he learns quite a bit from it. So anyway, okay. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about your eBay business, and then I want to get into that Facebook Marketplace scam a little bit with you.
Okay.
Just again, I asked this question because that's what resellers want to hear, how other people run their businesses. A little bit about your eBay business. Again, are you running sales in your store at all? Do you accept best offers, run promotions, offer free shipping, offers for watchers?
So,
how do you run your business?
So when I first started, I was kind of, I was like, I thought you had to do free shipping. I didn't, that was kind of going around that. You're like, oh, you need to do free shipping to get the sales, this and that. And actually Tommy and Tracy from their show, I kind of learned like
Right.
Yeah, free shipping's for the birds. Like
And there's
I'm
no
not.
such thing as free shipping. We all know that. If you're
Yeah,
offering free shipping, you're building in. You should be at least building into your cost.
yeah. So I don't do free shipping.
You
What
run
was the other?
promotions? Are you doing what Tommy suggests? The promotion
I do
plus
the
a certain percent.
promotions, and they help. I mean, they definitely help me.
Right.
And sometimes like when sales are slow, I'm like, oh, I want. It's because I forgot to set like the reset the promotion. So
Exactly. That's the other thing, you guys. And
that
again,
plus
I'm not an
not
expert on that.
listing consist.
Right. Not listening consistently, and that's a pro tip too. Is pulsing your sales or pulsing your promotion. I think it's more like the sales. When you pulse the sale, people run sales and you take it off for maybe for a day or 12 hours. And you put it back on. I mean, some people run like a sale during the week. Again,
Yeah, I never
everyone has
tried. I
different
never
ideas.
tried that I never tried the sale feature, and
Okay.
I still haven't really tried the coupon.
The coupon is
There,
another addition,
I
right? It
did.
makes it pretty easy.
Yeah, a lady. I sold her a new seal cologne. She said that the cologne, it was messed up. She said it was all
No
whatever.
box.
It was no box. Yeah, so
Right.
she sent me a picture. I didn't have much into it, and I don't know. I didn't feel like dealing
You
with
feel like
it. So
totally
I was just
refunding
like,
her, right?
yeah. So I just gave her the refund. How am I supposed to prove? Like, I don't know. It could have been, it was new sealed. It could have been, but it was older too. So it could have got
Right.
bad. Like, I don't know,
Yeah.
So like I refunded her or whatever. And then
You offered her like a coupon.
just because it was like a new feature at the time. So I was like,
Sure.
let me
Sure.
see it. So I gave it to her. It wasn't nothing crazy, but I gave it to her like up until like a certain date where she could, if she wanted to buy anything. So I don't really do too much of the coupons, but I see a lot of people are doing them.
That's something I definitely, once I gear up my business a little bit more, I'm definitely going to start running coupons and at least offer a coupon. If somebody buys something, hopefully they'll come back and buy something else, offering them a coupon.
I'm a big send offer to watchers. Or
that's something you got to get doing on a regular basis.
And as soon as, I'll be honest with you, as soon as they come over, I'm sending them right out. They're coming, I'm sending them. Unless it's something like, say, sometimes like I say that, but I just posted a pair of boots and I like if I just post it, sometimes maybe I won't send it right away.
Gotcha.
But yesterday
you don't have a routine per se where you do it a certain time or sometimes you just do it as soon as you see somebody watching.
As soon as I see it,
you send it off right immediately. Okay, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
And you've had pretty good success with that?
Yeah, a lot of my sales come from the offers, but then you got to hope they pay. Like I sold a tennis racket to this guy in Canada, and it's partly my fault because I should have, that thing set up where after 4 days that it automatically cancels it and relists. I don't have that set up on my store. I need to add that, but we're on day 4 now, and you don't hear nothing back. It was a big negotiation. Oh, there's a little wear here, this and that. We're back and forth. So finally, like, dude, yeah, just take the tennis racket, pay me the money. And now 4 days later, the guy still didn't pay. I'm like, yo, what's up with payment? Oh, I lost my MasterCard, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The whole sob story. So, dude, what do you want me to do? Wait, another 4 weeks until you know what I mean? You busted my ball. I hate to say it, but you busted my balls for like 2 days straight, negotiating with me back and forth. Finally, I'm like, just take the thing because I don't feel like, dealing with you, and then you don't pay for it. So, and then I have another guy too.
Well, I don't see the other Dan in the chat, but if the other Dan in the chat, he would say block him.
Yeah, block him, right? Yeah.
Dan Malik said block him.
I know. I'm not a big blocker, but there's a couple. There's this one guy though. He might change my mind. I might have to block him.
Yeah.
I have a Vince Carter new with tags Nets jersey.
Okay.
And it's an older jersey, so like I posted it kind of high.
We're freezing a little bit there. You're back. Okay.
This guy, he sent me. Oh, sorry. Did you hear me? I had to post it for $255 plus shipping.
Okay. No. Okay.
So this guy,
we're saying offer for $75.
This guy. No. He sent me like 185. Anyway, when everything was said and done, he bought it off of me like a couple months ago for $215 plus shipping or whatever,
Okay.
right? Then he messaged me the next day, doesn't pay. You know, you're waiting for the payment, doesn't pay. And then he messaged me and he goes, "Oh, something about it's the wrong size." So I'm like, all right,
And you
but
already shipped it?
no, I didn't ship it because he didn't pay
Okay.
yet.
Oh, you didn't pay yet. Okay.
It's the wrong size. I'm like, all right. I was like, you want me to cancel it? Yeah, please cancel. Blah blah blah. Cancel it. This dude still sends me offers on the same jersey to this yesterday. So finally, he and it's just back and forth. Like he's going to get blocked, Adam. I got to block him.
Got it. You got to follow Dan the man. You got to block him. Come on, Dan.
He sent me
by your namesake.
And I keep saying, like, dude, you bought this off me once and you didn't pay. Like, are you sure you're sending the right person to offer? So I gotta block this guy. It's official. He's getting blocked after the live.
Blocks him as soon as eBay automatically cancels an order. I don't care about the feedback. They're getting blocked if I don't get paid. Tommy says, I will never do best offer. They are a different breed. I never have issues with customers that accept offers.
It's crazy. It's crazy, Tommy. I'm starting to get gray over this guy.
Yeah, you end up losing your hair. You turn gray. You know.
He's got to get blocked. I got to block.
Gotta block him, Dan. Okay, you have a couple things. You pulled a couple things handy, and then I want to talk about your so-called scam. Yep. Okay, why don't you just go a couple items because I know you guys like show and tells. I asked Dan if he had any show and tell, and we'll talk about the Facebook market scam.
All right, so can you see that, Adam?
Yep. Here's a pro tip for you guys. Yep, Wonderland Skaters Pond.
Wonderland Skaters Pond. I paid $6.99, I think it was. And this it's pretty cool, honestly, but I don't really have no use for it. But it lights up and it plays carols. I did check it out in the Goodwill. All the pieces were there. I plugged it in. Everything worked. But there's like comps between, I think I seen on the lower end was like $90. Awesome. Higher end was like $120 plus shipping. So I'll pop it up and I'll see what happens with that.
And you said there was another brand that you're familiar with that sells really at a high price. What was the other Christmas thing you said?
So the reason I even looked this up, I walked past and I said, let me just look at it because sometimes the bigger stuff I really don't want to pick up. So I kind of hope
with the shipping, right?
Yeah, I kind of hope. I'm like, hopefully it's a dud that way, which is bad. It's bad mentality, but
you live and learn.
I was like, let me scan it. Or let me type the name in, and I found out it was worth it. But Mr. Christmas, I found the only reason I checked this out was because a few weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago, I found two other big ones, similar but not the same, that were selling for over $100.
Awesome.
So I looked that up, and then this was the other thing I grabbed. It was just an Eagles salute the service hoodie.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's something they sell. And
and it was Nike, and I was shocked, like $60 comps for that. And
they're high. I used to get emails. They do the marketing, email marketing. It's like how much?
I don't know, that $6.99 I paid. $6.99. That's not bad, and that's easy. That's an easy. That's I'm not a big, and guess what? I'm not a big clothes person, to be honest with you.
I hear you.
I'll pick it up. Like I said, I'll pick anything up if I can make money on it. And it's
absolutely
not going to drive me nuts.
Got to do the research.
Listing it.
Okay. So let me just ask you before I forget to ask you, what was your best flip? Do you have something that comes to mind that?
I would say, I guess I don't know, like percentage wise or whatever. Right. I mean, that I was pretty, that doll one was like a big one of mine that I like.
Sure.
But I bought a Sony camera. I forget the model. I was in I even forget the name of the thrift store. I think it was Holy Redeemer or Holy something.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it was Holy Redeemer.
Okay.
And they were kind of priced up a bit, and I was recording, and I actually stopped recording because I was showing the prices. They were like kind of crazy. They were like $20 more than eBay prices.
Right.
Something just said, just kind of look around and kind of see if you could find anything. So I went into the back. They had like a glass case.
Okay.
And there was a really nice lady back there. She was actually from my old neighborhood, which was weird because we were like, an hour
Right.
away.
Okay.
But she so we're getting to talking, and she's like showing me like watches and things like that. But I seen this camera, and I almost didn't look it up because I would, I figured it was probably like a lot of money.
Right.
They were asking, I forget what I paid. It might have been like 160 for it, Adam. But it was half off. It was like a half off day or something. So I kind of got lucky with it for looking it up. So I
Right.
ended up spending like 150, 160 bucks, and I flipped it for like maybe 475 ish,
Awesome. Awesome. That's
something like
great.
that.
Yeah,
I
camera
mean, I don't know
prices
if
are, especially with bringing it back to pandemic, camera prices are insane. You can't get
yeah,
them. They're all out of stock. New ones. The resale ones are ridiculously priced. Crazy.
I don't know. I don't know if that's my best, but that one comes to
Okay.
mind. And it
Cool.
was and it felt good too because, like I said, this store was, oh my god, I was actually, my pressure, my ears were getting red, my pressure was going up, the prices were going up.
So
You know
high.
what I
And you
mean?
just got, yes.
Yeah,
Keep digging, right? Yeah.
I'm thinking to myself, what am I still doing in
I
here?
tried that
But
with some of the church stores. Some of them are like very reasonable. Some are like ridiculous prices. I've gone to some that's
so,
like,
so
you were
I
more than
lucked
like
out with
Goodwill. Right.
yeah, I lucked out with that one.
Cool.
It was actually it was marked down, and then on top of that there was like a 50% off, so it ended up being like
Said 100 and some, right?
yeah, it was like 100 and something.
Okay, cool.
So
Okay,
that was a good one.
let's get into your Facebook market scam. What was going on with that? Why don't you
All
explain it in the
right.
chat?
So I don't know his like full. I don't know the full like MO or like the full.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know what his intentions were, but I know they weren't good. We'll just
Again,
say
you
that. But
trusted your gut feeling.
I trusted my gut. I talked to a friend of mine, actually Joe, the Philly picker. I hit him up because I'm like, something doesn't seem right. I need somebody to kind of like
Right.
tell me I'm on the right. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I found this bike in Goodwill. I paid like $54.99 for it. It's like a Electrica, I think is the brand, Electrica Daisy bike.
Okay.
Anyway, there was like sold comps for like 5 something plus 5 shipping on eBay. You know what I mean? So
Wow.
like it's like $1,000 bike. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Somebody's willing to pay like $400 to $500 shipping.
Plus 500 shipping. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that's so anyway, it's been sitting in my storage unit, and I'm like, now that the weather's getting nicer, I need to get this thing posted, get it out of here. So I finally put it up on Marketplace because I'm really not trying to ship a bike, to be honest with you. I don't know if people in the chat ever sold a bike or anything.
Right.
So I'm not. So I put it on Marketplace, and it was weird. I knew something was off right off of the bat because 2 people actually messaged me right away. Boom, one and the other. So I was like, all right, I picked the guy who messaged me first. And then the other
Right.
guy, his name just disappeared. I don't even know what happened to him. So
Okay.
right off the bat, something was weird with it. But I'm
Right.
talking to the guy, and he's asking me questions. He seemed genuine. He's like, how long do you have the bike? This and that. And where, asking about condition. And then he goes, well, when can my sister meet you? And I'm like, whoa, dude, I'm not meeting your sister. This is like an $800 transaction.
Yeah.
Number one,
Right.
I'm not meeting your sister, because I listed it for 800.
And he's going to come back. Oh, my sister got it. And it was damaged. No.
So I'm thinking to myself, all right, his sister. So my first thought, this was my first thought. I'm in Philadelphia.
Right.
This dude's trying to set me up. They're going to rob the bike. I'm going to get shot. I'm going to get jumped, hit with a brick. That was my first thought. So now I'm like, damn, should I even answer this dude? So then finally I'm like, I hit him up. I talked with Joe because the thing is, I went over to it was weird. He messaged me from Instagram. I guess Facebook and Instagram are like integrated
together. Yep.
or whatever. Yeah,
Yep.
It confuses the hell out of me.
Yeah.
But so he messaged me from Instagram. So I go and look at his Instagram, and the guy has he only has the like his picture or whatever, his profile picture,
Right.
no photos, 23 followers, and he's following like 2,600 people.
Okay.
And then now I'm like,
what's going on here? Yeah.
I'm playing full on detective. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, who's following them? And I go to the pages, and they're all like, you could tell they're fake. The whole same thing. So I'm like, this is all right. So I'm like, this dude's setting me up. And then so Joe was just like, well, just take it as far as you can. Tell him. So what I ended up doing was I told him, I said, hey, I was like, my friend's, he's a cop. When I do these deals, I can meet at the police station.
That's
and
what
he
Ed
does
said.
it.
Yep.
He does the deal with me. And also,
you're going to bring a cop, right?
I said, we do it right there at the police station. That's my buddy I went to school
station.
with.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and it's cash only, because, I forgot to say, he was like, what'd he say? He said, oh, what's your email? So we could something with Zelle. I'm like, bro,
what's the email have to do? What's Zelle have to do? This is a cash deal.
I said, are you not reading my message here? It says this is a cash transaction.
Cash only. Yeah.
After that, ghosted me. Disappeared. Goodbye. So it's a Zelle scam.
It's Zelle scam.
And I'm looking it up, and there's a bunch of different ways.
I told Dan I never heard of Zelle. I don't know what Zelle is.
Yeah, I don't have Zelle. I got a bank account, I got Venmo, and I got some other things. I ain't got no Zelle. Nothing against Zelle, but I hear they're doing a lot of scams on there. But one that I heard of, and I don't know if this is what he was trying to do, Adam, but like they send you somebody else's money and they pay you too much of it.
Right.
So then you gotta send them back the difference, and then you end up being liable for it's like I don't know the full ins and outs of it. Yeah, I don't. And Ed, I don't do Venmo either, Ed.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't. There's an issue with Venmo as well. Okay.
Yeah.
All those deals, I would only do cash. I wouldn't, And then I have it behind me, but my place is a disaster. I have the counterfeit pens too. So
I had a lady ask me. She was writing in my neighborhood, and it was for like it's funny. It's actually something I found in the trash. It was like at my storage unit. It was like a little like a doll. Not little. It was a good size, but it was like a car for like a doll set, generation something doll or something.
Right.
So I go to, and she's like, is it okay? Can I pay you Cash App? I didn't even have the Cash App, or I downloaded it, and as I was right there, she paid me on the Cash App, and I
don't even know. I mean, people talk about PayPal now I'm worried about like taking PayPal. You PayPal on your phone, but it's like scanning. I mean, I haven't done it, but apparently you can scan the QR code and you can pay right on your phone. It's like I don't want to take cash. I'm going to meet at a police station or somewhere. Yeah.
So I did, and I do have a buddy who's a cop, but I was totally BSing. I never asked him to do no deals with me or anything. But like Ed said, though, it's like a check scam, but they do it through the cell.
Yep.
So, my head was all over the place at the time. Like, this dude's trying. What am I going to get shot over this $800 bike?
Yeah. Like Ed said, anything over $100, he's doing a police station.
Yeah, so it was crazy, but something right off of the rip was telling me that this isn't good.
Right.
So,
keep that in mind, guys. Apparently Venmo was bad. Trust your gut. Zelle was bad.
And the thing is,
only.
I don't even know if Zelle is bad. I'm sure it probably has a great function. I don't even really know fully what it is, but
it says you wouldn't trust Cash App either. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The only reason I did I wasn't too worried about losing. Like I pulled it out of the trash, out of the thing. So whatever. This older lady scammed me. So bad, lady. Like you must have needed it, but yeah. So that was my scam. So the bike's still posted over on Facebook Marketplace, cool. But I'm hoping with the nicer weather, somebody bites.
Hopefully, yeah, guys. Again, my bad too. I have a couple bikes. I have a couple putters. Springtime, guys. Hello. Me included. Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy. Get that stuff listed.
I made sure to get and the tennis rackets too. They've been sitting.
Tennis rackets.
I throwing them all,
like I know
everything up.
Joe Philly Pickers is get that sporting goods.
The
get
baseball
that stuff
bats
listed.
and
baseball bats, softball bats. Lacrosse exactly. Okay, guys. If there are any questions for Dan, pop them in the chat for us, please. I'm just going to do a little promo, and I'm going to have Ed. Dan, I don't know why I have Ed on my mind. Ed keeps posting. Thanks, Ed. I got you on my mind now. Dan's going to talk about his YouTube channel. But anyway, guys, and I tell you guys, I kind of do this because I come from a family of school teachers, but again, like anything, there's time involved, there's costs involved. So if you're getting some kind of value from my channel, please consider helping me offset some of the costs. I would greatly appreciate it. I have I don't have Zelle, but I
No
do have
sell, no sell.
no Zelle. But I do have Buy Me a Coffee, PayPal, and Cash App. Apparently, Cash App's bad too, but whatever. And there's also a link to Randy's website where you guys can buy coffee, tea, spices, and old-fashioned candy. And Randy's kind enough to pay me a commission at no cost to you guys if you buy something. If you buy from Randy, just put AE next to your name when you're registering on the site. So why don't you tell the people a little bit about your YouTube channel and what kind of content you have?
Gotcha. So right now I'm a smaller channel, but I'm having fun doing it. It's I'm just kind of documenting my journey. I'm not like niche down to just like doing garage sales or thrift store or thrift with me.
Right.
I kind of whatever I kind of feel like like if I'm at a thrift store and I'm like, oh, today I'll record, I'll pop it on there. I like doing sometimes if I don't record, I'll just show you guys what I picked up at the thrift
Right.
store, kind of post up some comps for you to see.
And sometimes that's
what it's
easier
worth.
instead of trying to do it as you go along. Just when you get home, just yeah.
Yeah,
But you're playing with dolls in South Philly on your front sidewalk.
Yeah,
I play.
I sit on the sidewalk. I sit on the sidewalk. I play with dolls. But yeah, so I'm just trying to just be consistent on YouTube and try to get videos out. Past month.
You do what sold, you do what you purchased.
Yeah, I think I've only
GoPro when you're out thrifting.
Yeah, I wear the GoPro, and the funny thing is with the GoPro, Adam, I was so nervous about like even caring, like you were saying, they don't let you record in your Goodwill.
Right,
I don't really care. Like, okay, so they'll tell me not to record, and then I just won't record. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'll move on to the next one. Like,
yeah.
Like even in some of the videos, like I'll actually interact with the workers. Like, but when I first started, I could never see myself doing that. It wasn't until like I actually just put it on and I started wearing it and I was like hands free that I don't know. I just got more.
Yeah, it's hard carrying around a phone and you try to watch those videos and the phone's all over the place and crooked and yeah.
That the mountain trip was good for me because I actually, like I said, we were on vacation and I went with my uncle and my father and neither one of them are like thrifters or this and that. You know, they started. You know, when I started it, they started kind of watching it here and there, and they were with me. I was just so comfortable. Like I'm sitting there talking back and forth with the employees, and from that point forward, it just kind of put me over that hump that I needed to get over. Now, just what are they going to do? Tell me I can't? Okay, I'll
turn it off. Yeah,
that's it. I'll put it in my pocket. Like so,
he's real Philly, Harry. He's South Philly.
Yeah, I'm about as Philly as it gets, Harry. Trust me, buddy.
He loves the Flyers. He wears all kind of Flyers gear.
Big fly. I love all the sports
God bless
teams.
you. Love the Flyers. It's been a long time since
tough.
they won anything.
This is a tough year for me.
And they got rid of Giroux, so I mean that's even worse.
Yeah.
Right?
So that's my colors are based off of the Flyers, pretty much the orange and black. But I love the Eagles, love the Phillies. I'm a big Philly guy, Harry.
Okay, guys. I don't see any questions in the chat. So again, I always say appreciate your time, and time is your most valuable asset. So I'd like to thank Dan for his time, and also those of you here in the chat and the live and watching the replay. If you can, please leave a thumbs up, subscribe, turn notifications on. And if you are gracious enough to leave a comment, you can do so, and I would greatly appreciate it. It helps drive traffic to the channel. So, guys, we shall see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you next week. Take care now.
Thank you.